This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Town of North Haven.
Good evening. Welcome to the Planning and Zoning Commission for March 2nd, 2026. My name is Bob Hannon, your chairman, and I'll have the members here introduce themselves. Andy?
Andy Bevilacqua, Town Engineer.
Jane Ellis, Zoning Enforcement Officer.
Norma Magarossi, Land Use Administrator.
Giancarlo Gallo, Architect.
Mark Parisi, sitting member, secretary this evening.
Paul Wyman, Vice Chair.
Ken Quick, regular member.
Benjamin Lobick, regular member.
Ron Penson, alternate.
Christine Hilton, Land Use Secretary.
Thank you, and welcome tonight. Before we get going, we have a letter here from Brian Cummings. He will be out, and he's requesting that Mark Parisi fill his spot as a sitting member and also as the secretary for tonight. I'm going to have the secretary read the first application.
Okay. It's P25-26, continued special permit application as provided by CGS 8-30G, 6 assisted, I believe that's supposed to be 3 assisted living units. Am I correct?
Right.
I have it listed, 6.
Right.
3
It
assisted
was
living
originally
units.
6.
Okay. Of Justin Nehru, applicant, 130 Montewiese Avenue, Montewiese LLC, owner relative to 130 Montewiese Avenue, map 17, lot 152, plan entitled 130 Montewiese Ave, M17-B152, North Haven, Connecticut, prepared by Nathus and Young Engineers, dated 8/29/25, scale 1 inch equals 10 feet, R20 zoning district.
Good evening, everyone. For the record, my name is Attorney Timothy Lee. I'm here tonight on behalf of Justin Nero, who is seated to my right. This is the third night we've been in front of you on this application. The application has changed a little bit from the first night, as was read into the record tonight. Originally, this started as a 6-unit affordable housing development, and over the course of the last month, we have reduced it to 3 additional units plus the main house. So whether you consider it 3 or 4, there would be 4 dwelling units. A dwelling unit, which is the main existing house, and then Justin has proposed 3 additional units in the rear of the property. When we were here last month, we had received the comments from the town planner and the town engineer. One of the points of discussion was whether a traffic study was required for this particular application. I think ultimately we landed on the fact that we didn't need a full-blown traffic study, but it would be ideal to have the plan evaluated by a traffic engineer to see if the entrance and the exit pose any threat to the public health, safety, and welfare. Justin reached out to Barbaras Traffic Associates, and Jim Barbaras went to the property and did an evaluation. We had submitted the evaluation to the town about 10 days ago. I don't know if that made its way into your package. The gist of the report from Barbaras was that the site lines were adequate for the additional units at the property, that traffic did not present any problem for this particular property for the 3 units, but he did make some recommendations. Those recommendations were the installation of a stop sign going in and out of the property. My client has prepared a revised site plan, which he submitted today, which shows and adopts the recommendations from Mr. Barbaras. So based on that, we think we've satisfied what the commission was looking for with regard to the traffic on the property. We had also received on Friday afternoon some comments from the town planner and the town engineer. I'm sure those have made their way into the packet. I think it's fair to say we've more or less satisfied the town planner's comments, but the town engineer did have some outstanding issues with regard to the plan. We got those comments on Friday afternoon. Mr. Nero went down to Davis and Young this morning, and he showed the comments from the town engineer to his engineer. The engineer has revised the site plan to accommodate the concerns of the town engineer. He delivered a copy of that site plan today. Obviously, I know it's the day of the meeting, but he acted as fast as he could in light of the comments that we received on Friday. I don't want to steal Andy's thunder. His comments kind of ranged, and I'll just kind of summarize what they were, is he was looking for a wider entranceway into the property. Although it wasn't specified by our traffic engineer, Mr. Nero did meet with Nafis and Young today, and they did revise the site plan to show an entranceway of 24 feet, which is the maximum number that the town engineer had said was advisable in his report. And that was in order to avoid the conflicts of vehicles entering and exiting the site. My client also had Nafis and Young address the site drainage, and Nafis and Young adopted the revised plan that has some infiltration basins within on the property too, to retain some of the water. I spoke to Nafis and Young this afternoon. They think that the property can accommodate all of the town engineer's drainage concerns, and they didn't have time to do it before tonight's meeting. But they didn't think there was anything in the town engineer's report that could not be accommodated on the property. So that being said, that's kind of where we had left off last time. And the sewer. The town engineer raised some, I don't want to say concerns, some questions as to where the sewer line was in the road and whether there was an adequate pitch. My client did verify with the representative of the WPCA, or Viola, who manages the sewer lines for the WPCA, that there is adequate pitch and capacity, or adequate pitch for the connection to the sewer on this particular property.
Could you elaborate again? These units are going to be designed for special needs, health issues.
Mostly people in wheelchairs, but
Mostly.
yeah, not all of them. It gets them out of the nursing home, gives them some of their independence back. So the only people other than family that visit them will be their aides.
All these individuals drive?
No.
No?
No, none, but I mean, 99% do not have cars.
So they'll be picked up by vans, I'm assuming?
Yeah, my ride, things of that nature.
As we talked about the first night, he anticipates renting to the Money Follows People program, which is a program administrated by the Department of Social Services. Justin has other properties that are participate in this program, and he was hoping to have these 3 additional units also participate in the program.
Is the original house, the existing house, is that on city sewer as well?
Yes.
It's not, I don't see it marked out on here for their connection, but I assume they've already taken that into account.
Yeah, the new buildings will have a new connection.
Yes, but
That's required.
the existing house isn't marked out on here.
Right.
Andy, did they meet your requirements on everything you requested?
From a drainage perspective, no.
No.
No, there's a lot more that needs to be done from a drainage perspective. But I will say that there appears to be sufficient land area on the site that's not developed that could be done. But I need to see an analysis. I mean, because essentially what's designed here is going to put the first inch, 1.3 inches into the ground. So if you get 2 inches of rain, leftover rain has got no place to go. And we can't have that. I mean, we can't have that in a situation. I mean, that's fine for a residential house that's, you know, on a big lot in the middle of nowhere. But in a situation like this where you've got some dense zoning downstream of it, the neighbors have complained about issues having to do with high groundwater and runoff from the site. And I think infiltration as our only option is just not sufficient to properly protect those downstream properties.
So Attorney Lee, the infiltration system, that's not currently in, this will be installed?
That is correct.
Okay.
And
Right
you're
now, there's nothing,
Right.
no infiltration.
And
Okay.
Andy, you're recommending a larger infiltration system.
Well, it should be a detention basin. It should be something that stores and releases as opposed to just infiltrates.
Okay,
And that's typical of how we do all these developments.
Isn't the current system just handling the roof of the building?
Yes, I mean, the reason for the additional stormwater management that's required is all the asphalt that's being put down. Between the asphalt and the buildings, I mean, you're you know, probably quadrupling the amount of impervious area on the site, and that's gotta be handled. It's gotta be dealt with.
That's been caught. The driveway's being caught now. Originally, it was just the roof.
Oh,
NAFIS has designed it to catch the driveway and made a bigger retention system.
The retention system that you show on here
Mhm.
with the different blocks, how many inches of rainfall will that retain? And you
It's
think-
designed for the first inch and a third.
Okay, making sure that was the same and not the old system. Thank you for clarifying.
Yes.
The original submission, they had infiltration for the building units themselves only. And in this plan, it looks like they've revised it to incorporate the rest of the impervious. But that's still only handling a 1 1/3 inches of rain. That's it.
Can you tell
Beyond
me-
that, it just runs off the
so
site.
you're saying in addition to this, you should have some storage. How much storage would you?
Well, it's gotta be designed. It's gotta be
Okay.
designed. It's gotta be routed so that you know flow in, flow out.
Mhm.
And you can assure that the discharge from the site is gonna be the same or less than existing conditions, and that's what we're looking for.
Is
Just,
this-
just to be clear, there's no retention now.
No, but there's also not an awful lot of impervious area on the site.
Right, you're
That's
gonna be
different.
paving all of
That's
that now, so it's
Well,
gonna be a lot more.
the driveway is increasing, but we are taking the garage down. There is some trade-off there.
Sure, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're still significantly more impervious
Right, no, I
area than
agree,
you
I
had,
agree.
than you had before.
But also, there's a water condition. Right now, there's flooding that goes on there,
There
the
is.
way it is right now, right?
Yeah,
No, not.
That's what
I think
I
Mr.
thought
Rowe,
we talked about that, yeah?
yeah, I think some of the neighbors have said that there's flooding in the area. Mr. Nero claims there's not flooding on his property, but
Okay.
there was some conflicting evidence on that for sure.
Well, the water's gotta go somewhere, so we don't wanna go onto the neighbors.
Right.
That's the point.
Is there a lot of clay in that soil there? Is that your reasoning for the flooding and just it's not seeping through? Clay soils there?
I'm not entirely sure what the whole issue is.
Okay.
Groundwater's probably contributing to some extent.
Tim, let me just make sure I understand what you're asking. Clearly I hear from Andy that he'd like to see some additional data and design for more retainage to help keep all the water from the site on the site. Are you asking or suggesting that we vote on this before that work's done, or?
I'm going to make two suggestions, and I'll leave it to the board's discretion. I spoke to Dave Nafis, who is the project engineer today, who said he can accommodate all the questions, all the concerns that Andy had relative to the site drainage. So one option would be the commission could vote on the project subject to the condition we satisfy the town engineer with drainage. The other alternative I would propose is we still can grant you an extension of time to go to another hearing. Dave Nafis tells me he can submit a plan in relatively short order that we can back to Andy for his review.
Andy, I'm not suggesting anything that the board may or may not do, but if somebody suggested that this get voted on and leave it up to, as a condition, leave it up to you and the engineer to reach a mutually agreeable design. Would you be comfortable with that?
Yeah, I have no issue with that. The commission's granted that permission previously on other projects. So
just
I have no problem working with their engineer to develop something.
Just want to make sure. Thank you.
And do you know if the commission were to think about it and recommend it, if a retention pond would be adequate for this location, or if the current topography and soil conditions would preclude that being useful?
Yeah, I think there's enough land area in the back that's not being developed that there should be sufficient room to do something there, let's put it that way. So I'm reasonably confident that they can come up with a solution that'll work. It's just, I can't comment on that because I don't have.
You don't have the
that's all.
information.
Right.
Right. Fair. Thank you.
Do you think there's enough turning radius in that driveway for emergency vehicles and apparatus? Or is,
Yeah, I've not heard otherwise. So Babaris, our traffic associate evaluated it. We also did have an opinion from the town fire chief that the project was adequate and didn't pose any threat to the public health, safety, and welfare. So
Yeah, 'cause
my
I-
assumption is if the fire chief had a problem with it, that he would have mentioned it in his review letter.
yeah, because I was, every time I drive by there, and I drive by there often, I always look, it's like, there's just no way a fire truck is going down that driveway.
Looks tight.
Currently.
Correct.
Currently.
That being said, the fire chief did say he was okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think their feeling is as if they have to back out. Back out.
yeah. I was, one of my fears was that, God forbid, something should happen, they're gonna be just parking it right on Monowes Avenue.
I suspect that probably will happen.
Yeah.
It happens other places too.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Okay. So, setting, like, I guess, possible conditions, should the board,
If one option we have,
yeah,
if we wanted, if
yeah,
people wanted to approve it with the condition that the town engineer work out a suitable drainage plan with the applicant's engineer. That has been done in the past many times.
I also have a question. It looks like the very end of the driveway pavement kind of just blends in with the grass. There's no curb marking like it has around the parking spots. Is that intentional or is that just an oversight? I'm curious because if water is running down that hill at a fast pace, it won't stop in that drain. It'll just continue out into the grass.
That may have been an oversight. We just, in the morning, we were trying to address all the comments. I could curb that, no problem.
I think,
Overall,
At the bottom.
okay.
Yeah, you need a drain there.
Yeah, he's got the drain there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something's
that's
gotta
gotta
keep it
stop.
there.
I understand with plowing the snow, that could be problematic, but you'll have
Yeah.
to work with
we
it.
may in fact want to leave it like that to drain into a detention basin, but that's up to Andy and their engineer.
Any other questions? Do you have any comments?
No, you wanna open it up?
Any other comments?
No, sir.
Nope. Okay.
Nope.
All right, being a public hearing, we'll still, we'll open this up to the public. Is there anyone, wish to speak, and your name and address for the record.
Excuse me, Bob?
Oh,
Bob,
go ahead, Tom.
is it kosher to ask people for any new comments?
Yeah. Hey, Tom, is this any new information?
Yeah, it's new relative to the
Okay.
comments. Tom White, Summer Lane, I'm speaking on behalf of two people. Good evening, members of the Planning and Zoning Commission, from Joseph and Nydia DiMartino of 10 Papa Lane. We have reviewed the town engineer's comments dated February 19th regarding this application for 130 Monowese Ave. The engineer's comments highlight several serious, apparently insurmountable flaws in the applicant's plan and/or revisions of same, which if implemented result in public safety hazards. Number 4 and number 5 of the comments, the applicant's revised plan, quote, underground infiltration system is designed to accommodate the first 1.33 inches of runoff from the new building roof areas and parking area. there is a lack of suitable discharge point. Quote, a more extensive detention system is needed to mitigate any increases of stormwater runoff for a variety of storm events from the 2-year to the 100-year frequency, end quote. This means neighbors at numbers 3, 7, 11, and 15 Papa Lane will experience increases with their flooding issues from the plan's insufficient drainage and stormwater management, resulting in public safety hazards. Number 7 of the comments. While a percolation test from number 130 has been provided, the groundwater depth of the downslope neighboring properties is unknown and should be investigated because, quote, groundwater depth may affect the selection and effectiveness of the proposed stormwater management systems, particularly those which rely on infiltration, end quote. However, the fact is, the groundwater depth downslope is high per neighbor's testimony detailing backyard flooding. Number 11 of the comments, quote, the need for vegetative screening on 3 sides of this proposed development should be considered, end quote. Yet the applicant has not proposed any vegetative screening. Due to the overdevelopment of the parcel, its building and parking spaces area, close proximity to neighboring properties, and their failure to comply with zoning setback requirements, the commission must require 3 sides of vegetative screening of arborvitaes that grow to a maturity of 20 feet. In conclusion, the town engineer's comments support all the valid arguments of the public safety hazards, including increased flooding, that we, the neighbors, made at the January and February meetings, thus requiring rejection by the commission of this application made under 8-30G. We believe even the most zealous advocates of money follows the person program and 8-30G would find it difficult to support this extremely flawed plan and the public safety, health and safety hazards that would result. Members of the commission, we once again urge you to reject this plan in its entirety. Thank you, Joan Lydia D. Martino.
Is there anyone else that, yes, Mary?
Excuse me, Chairman Hammond, can we get that letter?
Oh,
Do you have a copy of that letter?
Tom, can we have that letter?
Yeah.
I don't know what exhibit we're up to.
I'll have to look.
Okay.
I think we're on 12.
12, 13. Yeah.
But he modified what he said, so all that is there is, some of it was crossed off, so.
That's fine.
Thank you.
What exhibit is this?
I think we're at
We
13.
don't know
I'm
yet.
not sure, I think it's like 12 or
12 or 13.
I'd have to look at the notes from last.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mary.
Okay.
All right, we're all set?
Yes.
Ready? Okay. Mary White, Summer Lane. I just have 3 questions only. What is the percentage of impervious surface areas now at 130 Montauk? What will the percentage of impervious surface areas be at 130 Montauk after construction and paving? I did hear quadrupling impervious surfaces, but I would appreciate the percentages before and after. And then the third question is, where and what is the lighting plan, and is it dark skies compliant? That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that Yes, ma'am?
Donna Naples, 124 Montague. The existing house has a sump pump in it, so that already floods, and there's drains coming out of that. And the basement is, I've been down there with them when he was digging for that sump pump. The rocks in the mortar, which is what that's made out of, there's rocks missing, the mortar's been patched. If they're gonna go out that other side and they hit any part of that foundation, it worries me. There's people living in there. So,
Okay, thank you.
Naples.
Is there anyone else? Seeing none. Attorney Lee, would you like to address any of the, or have answers to the percentage of the impervious surface now and after?
I don't have an answer to that question. I looked at the zoning table that the engineer provided on the plan, and he had a building coverage, and the current building coverage is 8%, and it's gonna increase to 12%, but there's not a calculation there as to the impervious coverage.
Okay.
I'm not,
And you reference to lighting?
are you having lighting
For like,
in the parking lot?
well, no.
No lighting?
In the parking lot?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, and the other concern would be sump pump in the original house.
There is a sump up there.
Is it working?
Huh? Yeah,
That's
yeah,
working.
yeah. The house doesn't even fall down.
Okay. All right, so Andy, would you want to see a new plan before we move on, or you're good with conditions?
I'm okay either way. I mean, I just want the commission to be comfortable with where we're going with this, that's all.
They brought up 4, 7, and I think 11 of your comments, and you would make sure that as part of the conditions that everything there would be addressed, right? All of your conditions would be addressed, not just
Yeah, I
those.
mean, 11 is vegetative screening,
Yeah.
I think that's something the
Yeah,
commission's got to discuss. But when it comes to the stormwater side of things, yeah, I have no problem working with their engineer.
So if we were to look at it, I just want to go back to drainage, because I've seen that property flood many times, even on just a decent rainstorm. Is there a, like, that they proposed, and I'm sure it's decent, but I guess they'll refer to like a car, are we getting like a Volkswagen edition or a Mercedes edition of drainage?
Well, we're gonna need whatever's necessary to
Yeah.
do the job, you know? I mean, an open basin in that back area would be perfectly appropriate to provide that detention that's required. Could be an underground basin back there.
Well, that
It's
would-
just-
that would
it's-
be
It's
the-
gotta be, the calculations have to prove that it works, that's the bottom line.
Wouldn't the underground basin be preferable? Then you don't have open.
If you don't have that good drainage and the water is sitting there for a week in the.
Well, not only that, but if you've got a groundwater issue, then underground is not gonna work at all. So
Right.
that's, there's more work that needs to be done on this.
Okay.
I don't know if we have much control over it, but I'm looking at the dumpster here and the dumpster pad and all, which means a larger trash truck coming in at different hours and stuff. I would hope you would control that to normal hours in respect to the
Oh, yeah,
neighbors.
yeah.
Okay, so what's the board's pleasure to move forward? Would you like to have the motion set, or would you like to see another?
I'd like to see the conditions, man.
That seems reasonable to me.
Conditions met.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say,
It was just said.
we have to close the public hearing
Yes.
tonight,
Yep.
so if you ask.
Well,
for
he was
anything-
actually, they were willing to give us an extension again.
I think we're out of extensions for the time frame to complete the public hearing. We received it on 11,
We passed the,
10, opened the public hearing on 1/5, so this is the third.
okay.
Right, no, I think we have,
We're talking about.
so we opened the public hearing within 65 days, so we're okay there, and then we have 35 days to complete the public hearing, but we can grant extensions up to 65 days, so I think we'd have, so for a total of 100 days after we open the public hearing. I think if we opened it in January.
Yeah, we opened it on the 5th.
So 35 days would take us to the February meeting. We granted an extension of time to today's meeting. So, but I think we could grant you an extension of time.
Okay.
We can grant up to 65 days worth of extensions of time, so I think there's enough time to get us to April if that's their desire.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
the chairman's gonna make a.
We're gonna close the public hearing, I believe. Go for that. No other comments?
Nope.
Okay. All right, we'll move on. We'll close the public hearing of application, the 130 Montague Avenue.
Thank you.
How the secretary read the next application?
Application P 26-05, re-subdivision application of Bernard Pellegrino, applicant John and Carol Bacon, Leslie Wallace, owner relative to 27 Falcon Crest Drive, map 50, lot 272, plan entitled re-subdivision of 27 Falcon Crest, prepared by Godfrey Hoffman Hodge, LLC, dated 6/19/2024, scale 1 inch equals 30 feet, R20 zoning district.
You're up, Mr. Pellegrino.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. For the record, my name is Bernard Pellegrino. I'm an attorney with the Pellegrino Law Firm in New Haven, and I represent the owners of this property located at 27 Falcon Crest Drive. The property is about 50,000 square feet. It's located at the southern end of Falcon Crest Drive, and it's currently vacant. The lot was created in 1988 as part of a subdivision that created Blue Ridge Lane that comes off Dixwell, and it wrapped around. There were a couple of lots, I think, created on Dogwood Road at that time, and there was this lot. This lot was kind of in the back, and it did not have frontage on a public road. And so as part of the subdivision map, there was a notation, not a building lot. Nonetheless, there's been an assessor's field card. It's appraised at $130,000, and our clients have been paying taxes on it as if it were a building lot. And the reason for that is sometime after the lot was created without frontage, Falcon Crest Road was developed. It was approved. Lots were created off of it. The road was constructed, and its terminus was at 27 Falcon Crest, our client's property. So what originally was a lot without frontage on a public road is now a lot that does have frontage on Falcon Crest Road. So we in doing our research with Alan when he was here and subsequently with Laura, I thought maybe I'd just come in for a lot development plan. But the thought was to bring it into you as a subdivision because of the condition on the original approval, not a building lot, to explain that conditions have changed since the lot was created. It now has frontage. We did a conceptual plan that shows the ability to comply with setbacks and the like, which is what has been, which is what I brought. And so it's technically an approval we're seeking that it is now a building lot as a result of the fact that now it does have frontage on the road, so that our clients can look to the future. I think they'd like to sell it. They've kind of transitioned up to New Hampshire, so they've lived in town all their lives. To market it now with with the ability to hold it out as a building lot, which is really why we're here. I've seen the comments of the planner, they're acceptable. Andy has made some comments, and I think what our thought would be that those details could be conditioned on the issuance of a zoning permit, just like any other new home construction. There's a new lot development plan with a site plan, and certainly showing the real location of the house within the setback, the driveway, the utility connections, which are all in the road, by the way. Could be part of that plan. Our client doesn't necessarily want to design the site plan to that level of detail because they're probably not going to build and construct a home, but someone will, and they'll know that that's a condition of getting a zoning permit, the submission of an updated site plan, as is typically the case, reviewed by the town engineer prior to the issuance of the zoning permit, and then they can go to building. Because it was approved as part of a subdivision plan in 1988, we were calling this a re-subdivision, even though we're not really changing the dimensions of the lot because it's an approval after the original subdivision approval. We thought technically that's a re-subdivision, which is a public hearing, and that's why we're here. Any questions?
So, oh, go ahead. So the original subdivision, this was already the lot 27?
I have the original subdivision.
Oh, there, but that was there at the very beginning. It just said we didn't have the coverage, or?
It wasn't a building, it wasn't considered a building lot.
Yeah,
It was a lot created as part of that subdivision.
the original, correct.
Here is the subdivision map. This is the, with the arrow is the lot, which was created at the subdivision.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put this, sure.
It's already in the documents that we.
So-
Oh, it's already in the
color.
Color, yeah.
Laura, this is really just a road now touching the property, right?
Correct, which created a building lot. I believe the first subdivision, but not what was actually approved, but one of the iterations prior to this approval showed it
Yeah.
with a cul-de-sac. And I believe the initial subdivider decided not to build the cul-de-sac due to cost, which kind of cut off the proposed lots.
Could
If I
have.
correctly. So, but now the lot does have its own frontage on a town road, where it didn't before.
So Andy, are you comfortable, as Bernie suggested, leaving any engineering comments to an actual site plan submission? later?
Yeah, as long as we get a detailed site plan for review, I think that's,
Okay.
if the issue was access to the lot, and now they have frontage on a town road, then, I'm not sure, and I'm not sure exactly how this process-wise is supposed to work.
Yeah.
Clearly, this lot is developable lot, or maybe when the subdivision was done, it wasn't.
It's definitely unique
no
in the
doubt.
way it kind of came down, but
And they're paying taxes on this?
As a building.
As a building?
they've been paying taxes for a number of years.
As a building lot,
Wow.
Yeah. But it was adjacent to
So-
their home, so they were enjoying the privacy that land gave them. They lived to the east, where they did.
This wouldn't fall on, or maybe for Laura, it's like, sort of like being considered like abandonment on a building lot?
No.
No?
No, they've been paying taxes.
Yeah.
It's not-
It's the opposite of
Yeah.
abandonment, I think. It's,
Yeah, no, 'cause I'm just thinking back on my CBA days there. Any questions, other questions?
Andy, I have two questions for you. First off, this current plan that we are looking at does show Hickory Hill, and it is paved up to a sort of cul-de-sac onto the property. Is the town intending to maintain that as a public roadway, or is this implying an easement on the remaining property that is being divided off of?
No, I think the access is coming off of Falcon Crest.
It is,
So
but there is a
Hickory
paved
Hill-
road.
It
Is the
appears
town
it
planning
appears
in the
to
future
cul-de-sac.
to maintain that? I mean, it is paved. And it says Hickory Hill Road right on the map.
If it's within the town right of way and it's a paved road,
Well,
then yeah, I
that's-
would assume that we would continue to maintain
I don't
what's
see,
there.
no, that's why I'm trying to figure out. There's not a lot of detail on this.
Right.
If there is town right of way there, or if the owners paid to have that paved on their own private dollars and the town is not maintaining it in any fashion.
Okay, I'm not sure. I did not look at that specific location. I've been focused up on Falcon Crest because that's the
Which
access.
makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. And so that's one concern I have, is if that's going to be maintained and if that will then imply an easement, if there is not currently a road right-of-way easement onto the other property, because that would impact the value of that other property potentially. And then the other question I have is, when I was out there over this weekend, at the end of Falcon Crest Road, you can't really see the property because of the snow removal. That is where all the snow gets piled up. Is this going to cause issues with our Public Works Department? Where is the snow going to go?
They're gonna have to figure that out, just like every place else. I mean, you know.
But usually on a dead end, there's a place you can push it, and then that would be somebody's driveway and yard, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact that there'll be a new driveway there will be enough to tell them not to do that, but, you know. There's a lot of situations that are very similar to this. all
Okay,
over town.
and that's not a concern?
No.
Okay. I have no further questions.
These are all on city water, city sewer.
It will be, yeah.
Do you want this original stuff?
Yes, we got the colored version.
Oh, we have,
Yeah, but it doesn't
it
have,
doesn't have the,
it's not the same.
this is the original, here's the updated.
Oh, okay, I can take it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, any other comments from the board?
It's a public hearing. just make sure.
Yep. All right, we're gonna open this up to the public. Does anyone speak on this application? Seeing none?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll close this application. And I will have the secretary read the third.
P 2606, subdivision application of Bruno Ciccione, applicant 1670 Hartford Turnpike LLC, owner relative to 1670 Hartford Turnpike, map 78, lot 25, plan entitles, property located at 1670 Hartford Turnpike, sheets 1 through 5, prepared by Criscolo Engineering LLC, dated 2/2/26, scale 1 inch equals 40 feet, R20 and R40 zoning districts.
Okay, before we get going on this, it was my understanding, being a public hearing, that there were no notifications to the neighbors.
Correct, it was noticed as a public
It
hearing.
was noticed, but the neighbors were not notified.
Yeah, Jim Preddy, Criscolo Engineering. I was unaware that you folks make all subdivisions a public hearing. Just all the other towns I deal with, only 3 subdivisions are public hearings, I think by statute. Just until I got the comments and I spoke with Laura last week, I was not aware that it was a public hearing, so for notification purposes.
Okay, so that being said, there were concerns with the topography, the pitch of the property, and also some drainage concerns also. But I think if the board purviews to push this to next month so that the neighbors can be notified.
I think the neighbors are gonna wanna be notified.
Yes.
Yeah, I would think so.
All right, so do I hear a motion to table this for next month?
I'll make a motion to table it.
And
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
So the public hearing wasn't open for this.
Correct. All right, so we have the site plan. Have the secretary read the site plan for 71 Bernardo Drive.
Site plan, P 26-07A, site plan NCAM application of Harrison Maciel applicant, Alvenus LLC owner relative to 71 Leonardo Drive, map 52, lot 65, plan entitled Property Located at 71 Leonardo Drive, North Haven, Connecticut, prepared by Criscolo Engineering LLC, dated 1/27/26, scale 1 inch equals 40 feet, IL 80 zoning district.
Welcome back.
Great to be back. So again, Jim, for the record, from Freddie Criscolo Engineering. So this lot had been before you a couple times before, years past. It's at the very end of Leonardo Drive. This is the cul-de-sac out here. There's an existing driveway that gets onto this site. It had been approved for this building, I think last was 2019, with some future phases that were not approved but were depicted at the time. The lot is generally mowed lawn. The owner has kept after it. It does have this is the 91 is here. There's a culvert coming off from under 91 that is part of Weatherman Brook that does flow into a pond on the north part of the property and then through the site so they can that river. There is currently a culvert under the driveway that allows that to pass. What we're looking to do here is the other plan is just this area blown up. Build 2 soccer fields and some park. Everson does soccer training for kids, and they need an outdoor facility. So we'll be using this property from the owner. The plan is to build these 2 soccer fields, some associated parking, and a small little building for concession and bathroom in the corner. This plan did go through wetlands, and we did the only, so this is going to be a synthetic turf field, so this basically has a very large sand filter underneath it. It's an under drain system. So we do have an overflow in the event that that fills up. I believe this whole area is very sandy soil. In the parking area, we did put curbs and catch basins, so we'll go through oil water separator and into the detention basin before it leaves the site. The only real issue that came up in the previous meeting was the town engineer had us go out and take extra topography in the area where the culvert discharges and flows around the site to make sure that we weren't affecting the flood capacity of that channel and Weatherman Brook at all. And we are not, but there are some areas that have had some sediment deposits and a large tree turned over to create a little island. So we, as part of the approval, we agreed to actually go in and take those areas out to make them flow better. The other thing that's happening is that the previous approval included a second culvert under the driveway. Again, it's about the flow for Weatherman Brook there. That wasn't put in, so we have it back on the plan so that'll get put in this time. We feel that we have enough parking. They stagger their starts between events by half an hour, so there'll be time for people to pick up and leave and drop off, and so there's not a lot of overlap. We do show, we did not, one of the conditions I noticed was photometric plan. We have somebody working on that. It's not a typical lighting plan. It's a sports field, so they're a little taller, a little higher. But we do show light pole locations and utility locations, conduit locations for the lights, so that we owned it on the plan when we went through the wetland review. I think the only other comment was about trees at the end of the road parking. We do show them in these islands, but I guess we will have to add a couple at the ends. I guess with that, I'll take any questions.
This is just gonna be a private facility, or is it?
Yes,
Yeah.
they'll be, mostly for training.
Yeah.
And they will have some, competition events, but mostly training.
Yeah.
What's the age
So
group?
this time of year, there won't be anything going
Yeah.
on there.
What's the age group for these kids? Is it just like?
This is Everson Maciel.
All right.
You can answer some of the
Sure.
other
And
specific
just your
questions.
name for the record, too.
Everson Maciel,
Can you spell it last name?
Macio.
Yeah, it's in here.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
So for the ages is probably like 8 to 18.
Okay.
It's for youth only.
Just a training
And
camp.
it's training during the week, games weekends.
Okay. Same age group on weekends.
Same age.
All right.
And I know, of course, we'd love to have North Haven groups coming in. So we'll approach that.
We need it.
Freda or
Yeah.
We
I
need
think
it.
there's a need.
Yeah.
I mean,
So but,
I've been talking to Mike Freda for, I think, since 2019 about this, and it's kind of moving forward. And once, I think will be a good opportunity to join our private programs and the town.
That'd be great. Any other questions from the board?
Yeah, a couple. Do you know, I don't know, is the material there natural or was it filled at some point?
I didn't hear the first part.
Was the material in that area all natural, native, or was there any fill deposited?
I'm actually not sure. I mean, road's been there a while. It's so flat and level, I wouldn't be surprised if some material had been taken out of there. Truthfully.
Has any testing been done?
Yeah, there, previous applications, there were some tussles, like, again, it's very sandy material here, because it's along the river.
So there's no,
And I think they used to create, what was the business that,
A block.
Yeah, block
They
business.
used it for plasticrete.
plastic.
where these questions are coming from is the town that we moved from, Falmouth on the Cape, just had to close a soccer field that was built on top of an old dump because contaminants were leaching up through the soil. And I'm just trying to protect future and current users from that. Andy, are we comfortable that there's no, I mean, a lot of areas around there have been filled. If this hasn't, then great, if it's all natural virgin soil. But if there's a chance for any fill material that was deposited there in the last 50 years, I think it would behoove the applicant to make sure it was clean soil, so we didn't have kids playing on something that was bad.
Yeah, no, understood, but you gotta remember too, this is gonna be a synthetic turf field, so they're gonna fill on top of the existing grade to establish the final grade for the field. So
you're saying-
you're not gonna be, well, so you're not gonna be interacting with existing soils on the site all that much. It's not like it's a grass field where they're just gonna take what's there and plant some grass and the kids are gonna run around on it.
So you're saying if there were some contaminants in the soil, there's no way for that to leach up?
Oh, I'm sure there is. I'm sure that it depends on the contaminants,
So
but I'm saying that I don't know that it's as big of an issue as if this had been
hopefully it's
just
not. And
a
if
planted
it's-
field.
If it's as you're suggesting, great.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of sites in North Haven that were filled in the last 50 or 75 years with God only knows what.
Yeah, I don't believe that's the case here. You could, I suppose, do some other investigation, but the other thing is that we're filling this, so we're raising this field up above, this field up above existing grades, so we won't, to Andy's point, we won't be really getting into the native soil all that much. The parking area is a little lower, and so but that'll be capped by pavement.
What's the field being constructed of?
So the field, there's, I think it's 18 inches of sand, and then those flat drains that, there's a whole network of them. But again, we're raising the field up, I think it's about 2 feet in the center, down out to about a foot, or, kind of turtlebacks.
I mean, where I'm coming from is people in Falmouth are getting sued right now. And people are worrying about the health of their kids that have played there for years. I'm just suggesting that a minimal amount of testing be done to make sure there's no hazardous materials.
Fair enough.
That's it. I'm not looking to raise your costs, but I'm looking to protect
Protect,
kids. So,
We have the Lily site not far from there. We have the
there's lots
Quinnipiac
of.
River
there's
Trail
lot-
not
there's
far.
lots of
I mean, there's a
sites
lot of issues in
all
our
around
town
with
along the
bad,
river.
Nasty chemicals. If this is clean, great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I'm not suggesting a $1 million testing program, but digging a couple of holes and testing some soil would, I think, make all of us feel a lot more comfortable before kids are playing there. That's all.
Yeah, and if that's, if we can make that a condition of approval, if we
Yeah,
submit it
I'd have no
to staff.
problem with
Yeah, it's a good idea.
If that's,
No objection.
just something.
Just
we
a
can-
couple other quick questions. I didn't see any place for dumpsters. And there's gonna be, with that many kids, there's gonna be some trash.
Yeah, they'll have some, trash receptacles at the building. I think that they're going to have, yeah, it's a good point, we didn't really, talk about dumpster.
That many kids, a lot of Gatorade.
Right, so they'll have, I mean, they could have just some small,
Trash
rollies here. at
So
the
you don't have
building,
that as a
But they
problem?
may have to put
It'd
some
be
barrels
okay if
around.
that were a condition.
Yeah.
Okay. And bathrooms, are they gonna be public
In that
bathrooms?
building, yeah, but it'll be closed when nobody's there.
Oh, sure, but when there's
They'll have to have
people
bathrooms.
playing, there will be public bathrooms as part of this building.
Correct.
Okay. And apparently, if I understand it, everything's being designed, assuming you're gonna get a foot or two of water in there once a year. So-
Well, yeah, so the building has to be designed with the materials with that in mind.
Yeah, the entire site is in the floodplain.
Yeah.
For the Quinnipiac.
I get it.
Now, that's all tidal flooding, so you don't have the same sort of issues in terms of stormwater displacement or a floodwater displacement, because it's tidal. My biggest concern was the brook as it comes in, and to be assured that, because the brook is not tidal until it hits the Quinnipiac. My biggest concern was that brook has got sufficient capacity to get through. And this development does not cause an issue where it's diverting water that normally would go in that direction. And that's why I asked for the survey. And I'm glad they picked up on the sediment issue, and they're gonna take care of that. So between the improvements in the channel itself, removing the sediment, removing the trees, and then the additional culvert that they're gonna put in underneath the driveway should take care of any issues associated with flooding, associated with the river, as opposed to the tidal flooding from the
So the site came under our local inland wetland purview, not Army Corps of Engineers?
Correct.
Okay.
Is there a concern that Waterman's Brook, where it comes under 91 and then makes that sharp turn, will not erode and undercut the field? Or is there going to be some sort of erosion control equipment put there?
Yeah,
to prevent that?
I don't think we really addressed that.
Because I don't see anything clear on this diagram to prevent that from happening. And we've seen that brook moving fairly well at times. I mean,
So we need some report.
I think there would need to be some kind of an erosion control protection for the field there to prevent it from undercutting any fencing and stuff we put there.
it's certainly not the worst idea.
Yeah, so I don't believe there's any there now, and any erosion has been very localized, there hasn't been like a big cut. But to your point, we could add riprap on the side of the slope there, just as armor to protect from the future.
Yeah, just to protect your investment.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't hurt. Yeah.
And I did notice that the fence on the north side is 6 feet, on the east side it's 4 feet. It looks like there's a line on the south side, but I can't tell if there's actually a fence there or not. And if what's to keep a ball from rolling off that direction into, and if there is a fence, maybe it needs to be clearly marked on the drawing.
Yeah, so we had fences, actually there's fences on 3 sides. We hadn't put it over here, he can still, this is actually all lawn over here now.
Okay.
So it just kind of gave them better access to use it.
I just see the, just by a quick finger, it looks like you have some deeper spots with marsh within 20, 25 feet of the corner of the field.
The North Haven Library will be closing in 30 minutes. All computers, Wi-Fi, and printers will automatically shut down in 15 minutes. All purchases for the bookstore and cafe, as well as library card applications, must be completed by 7:45.
Not necessarily saying you need to completely enclose it, I was just making sure that you have taken in consideration some of these areas where a ball could go.
Yes.
As you know, they go all over the place.
They do.
Another question I have is how high are the light poles? Are they going to cause glare issues on 91?
No, well, we wouldn't be able to do that. Obviously, we'll have to aim the lights so that they can't glare everything. That's why we have somebody
Doing the photometrics.
that does sports fields.
Okay.
Specifically looking at the photometrics.
And because I couldn't get out there on the site to very clearly see it, is there a potential for a ball that's kicked towards goal where the goalie tips it and it goes flying way up over the field, ever getting on to 91?
Geez.
I mean,
I don't think so.
I didn't think so, but.
We use netting there as well.
Okay, you will have netting there?
Yeah. We have
Okay.
to go in.
I didn't see that on the drawing, that's why I was
That's
curious.
happening, he's probably going pro soon.
Plus
Well, I've seen some of these high school kids
Yeah.
kick the ball here at the high school, and it goes sailing over the middle school, so I mean.
I think the netting should be high enough.
Okay.
If it's not there.
So that would need to be on a drawing too, I think. So we can see.
The highway is higher.
It is.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would, but I couldn't get out there to really judge the heights and everything, so. That's all the questions I have.
Okay.
Although I do like to make a comment, as much as it behooves me that our wonderful neighbor of North Branford is a fine town, their regulations are different than ours, and this drawing says that you comply with the regulations of North Branford. Sorry.
Or was this? That came up actually last week.
Any other questions?
There's no future plans for enclosures over the top, right? Similar to sports stones or things like that.
We have, so we run our indoor practices in Hamden and Woodbury.
Yep.
It'll be nice to have here, but I think it'll be too much.
Yeah.
Andy, you're comfortable with the parking?
Yeah.
With the islands and all, got enough with their, they need,
Yeah, no, I think they're gonna park.
I think they.
Particularly if they're gonna space their events.
I think the dumpster comments, we've gotta have
Yeah.
something, not just cans, we need a dumpster of some sort that they can regularly service. And a location that's gonna work for the turnaround for the truck and.
Preferably on a pad.
Yeah, oh, definitely on a pad, yeah.
Is the field gonna be, it's gonna be AstroTurf, right? It's gonna be synthetic there?
Yes.
Is the field gonna be the rubber or the natural material?
No, it's not. I don't believe that the system that you looked at was a rubber fill. Right?
Rubber fill?
Oh, it is.
Oh, the little rubber
Just
balls.
in the. grass.
Inside the blades of grass, they
Right.
fill it with like a rubber material, which is usually ground up tires and things like that. The only reason why I was concerned is because I've played sports my whole life, and when that rubber material, when it does flood, it does wash off, and I was just concerned it might go into the neighboring water supplies. I don't know if there's any way to prevent that, or if the grade's gonna be high enough where it doesn't do that. I mean, I played football on that for years, and your mouthpiece is full of rubber, your cleats are full of rubber. I mean, I don't know how the amount of runoff would happen. I was just curious to see if it was gonna. They have a coconut material as well, that's natural, that deteriorates. It's like I said, but I was just curious to see like if there was an issue with the rubber washing off into the nearby water supplies.
So, I mean, we do have this set up so that this is higher, so it would have to be a pretty extreme
substantial.
flood for this to actually flood. But as far as runoff, we do have buffer areas around with regular grass and this side plantings and stuff, so I think there are areas to trap, when you have some minimal runoff, but.
I mean, I used to coach at Hamden, and Hamden has a high water table, and anytime it rained, the actual field would bubble up, and all the rubber would actually go to on the track and on over the barrier. So it's just something to consider,
Right,
for the future.
and that's why we raised this up.
Yeah.
To avoid that.
Is it rolled out, the topping of that? How is that, explain how it rolls? Does it come in rolls and just rolls out, or?
The little balls.
I think they roll the turf out first, and then they put the. So they roll it out, they stitch it together,
Yeah.
and then they have huge bags of rubber that they spread all over, and then they
The
kind of
little
massage
balls,
it.
right?
Yeah, it's like little pellets. It's like almost like if you had smaller than the styrofoam that you would have inside like a package that's just all basically ground up tires and ground up old shoes and things of that nature.
What do we have here by our school?
It's rubber. Most of them are rubber. There's like about a 10 or 12 year lifespan of those. So what happens is the rubber actually starts to surface after a while. So, I mean, it's always been a concern, but usually some schools are going to the coconut But then again, if you have a nut allergy, that could be an issue for athletes. So there's always something to think about.
The coconut, the kids, if they slide that or they go on the ground or
Yeah.
cut all this, they're cutting themselves.
Plus, the coconut grows weeds, and you need pesticides to kill the weeds. So there's pros and cons. There's just a concern about the wash off from the rubber going to the nearby water supply. I was just curious to see if there's any ideas about that.
You need a 100-year storm. To
Yeah,
flood the field.
yeah. I don't know what the like I said, like Hamden, we had a flood and the entire school was almost flooded. Like in that area where the football field was, and it washed away a lot of that material. I don't know the information for that area if it's that bad. So I was just curious to see if that would be an issue ever, any kind of runoff.
Yeah, that was probably not a 100-year flood.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right, any other questions?
Nope.
Good. Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The secretary needs application,
Did that 20 years ago, and I wouldn't have it.
site plan 26-08.
Site plan 26-08, site plan application of Marcus Puttick, PE, LS, Godfrey Hoffman Hodge LLC, applicant ESP 60 Dodge Avenue LLC, care of Elm Street Partners, owner relative to 60 Dodge Avenue, map 100, lot 8, plan entitled Outside Storage, Tri-State Fleet Storage LLC, prepared by Godfrey Hoffman Hodge LLC, dated 1/15/2026, scale 1 inch equals 20 feet, IL 80 zoning district.
Your name for the record, sir?
Hey, my name is Marcus Puttick. I'm a civil engineer and land surveyor at Godfrey Hoffman Hodge, with an address of 26 Broadway here in North Haven, representing the applicant. We were here before you for the same site, I believe in 2017. I'm not sure if any of you were on the board then or not. And at that time, this was an existing building, a fully constructed site, fully built out. We were replacing a fuel tank for the fleet storage area that the water company that inhabited this building wanted to replace. And so that was done. The water company has since left the building, and they've rented it to different tenants. And so this fleet storage area that was for the trucks that delivered the water has been sitting vacant. So the current owner would like to rent that area, which is this area in yellow, and the blue drive access out to Dodge Avenue, to a fleet storage company, a fleet company that provides fleet vehicles for different corporations. So they buy SUVs, sedans, whatever companies want. They store them here, and then as companies need them, their executives or whomever wants one, they deliver it to them from this location. And so this company imagines that there will be about 10 to 20 vehicles a day leaving this site, coming and going from this site, so 50 to 100 vehicles a week coming and going. They intend to store around 160 vehicles here. They intend to have an attendant on site throughout the day, throughout business hours. One thing that is not pictured on the plan, and we certainly happy to locate that fully, is they do want an 8x20 office trailer, so sort of just a roll-off office trailer that you would see at any construction site type of a setup, with solar power and solar lighting, and to house their cameras and whatnot to protect their vehicles. So that obviously that trailer would be brought to the site, and so that's one activity that would occur that isn't there now. And they intend to construct a fence to complete fencing in this area. The exterior of the site is already fenced, so they just wanted to fence off between the parking for the main building, or some of the parking and loading from the main building, and these vehicle storage. That's really so this is an outside storage use previously approved, and we'd like to
transition it to this fleet storage use.
This is the Tri-State Fleet Storage?
Yes.
How long have they been in business?
I don't know.
Okay. I was trying to look them up and I didn't find much.
I mean, Laura, how does this impact any previous approvals as far as parking goes? Because it's clearly reducing the parking for the
Right,
building.
that's one of the
It-
things we were
it's-
gonna ask them.
It does not reduce the parking for the building. The parking was always completely separate from this area, because this was always outside storage area where they stored larger trucks. So they were never included in the parking space count.
Nestle's Water used to
That's
keep their
They
trucks out
they
there.
kept the big trucks here, and
Yeah,
there was
for
no car
years.
parking in that, so.
And the
parking
other part
for the
used to-
rest of the building is.
That was RFS or Cable Waves before, now it's,
Yes.
well, it's changed, but it's got its own parking in the front.
Yes, there's parking, a considerable amount of parking out the front and along the side, and then still some spaces along the back. So there's plenty of parking for the rest of the building and the rest of the site. This was never included in the required parking.
So the people that are working in that trailer, they're not gonna park in that, they're gonna park on that site, not the.
Yeah, they'll bring one of the fleet vehicles, I'm sure. They'll be in and out regularly.
How will they be moving the vehicles out?
Driving. They drive the vehicles in and out.
So the person getting there has to arrive in a vehicle.
Sure, yes, but he probably
You're gonna get
takes
a ride.
one of their vehicles.
Yeah, so it's gonna kind of be a swap out then.
Exactly, it's supposed to come and go, vehicles coming
It
and
won't
going.
be regularly trailering them on
That's, my understanding is no, they don't trailer.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the answer to my question.
Okay.
Every time we approve a project, it's got X number of parking spaces.
Yeah.
We're reducing the number of parking spaces for the buildings that are there.
We are not.
But there's parking spaces there that are now not gonna be used.
Those were not part of the parking count for this building. They were always truck parking it was an outside storage space. They were delineated as truck storage spaces for Nestle's trucks. They were not vehicle
May I have your
parking that's
attention, please?
associated
The
with
North
the
Haven
building.
Library will be closing in 15 minutes. Please begin to make your final selections and bring them to the circulation desk for checkout.
What if the people who were in this building needed more of the truck storage that was there in the first place?
They don't.
But zoning approvals are based upon, what the use of the building is and how many parking spaces they need.
And they have all the parking spaces they need in the balance of the
But
lot.
these are parking spaces out here.
Well, no, that's outside storage.
It was
Whether
outside
it's a
storage.
bulldozer
always
or a
delineated
truck.
Didn't go
outside
into the
storage.
number
That
Didn't infringe on the
calculations,
So-
didn't go into the
On the
parking.
former
code.
plan, it was outside storage in that area.
It wasn't part of the.
So we don't have a
parking.
problem. you're saying?
Correct.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
So there's no tractor trailers being pulled in and park overnight, or just
There is not, no.
sedans? And you deal strictly with two companies?
The Fleet Star Tri-State,
Yeah.
I couldn't say how many companies they service. They I don't know if they made me aware of that or not.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
no, I'm not sure how many companies they service. But they anticipate 10 to 20 vehicles a week transferring in and out, or a day transferring in and out, so.
Okay.
Now, the office trailer that they'll be putting on the site is fine, but the person sitting in there might need to use the facilities at some point if he's there every day. There's gonna be accommodations for that?
I'm not aware that there is, no. I don't think he stays there all day. I think he delivers vehicles, so they didn't say they needed that as part of their operation.
I will point to your drawing where it says a parking attendant is present during all business hours to manage vehicle movements.
Yes.
It's right on the print, so that tells me.
It's not
some-
necessarily the same person, though.
My understanding is there's always someone there, but it's not necessarily the same person. Like, I take a
But-
car, go, and the other guy comes
You're
back.
saying they come when somebody's coming to get a vehicle. they show
Yeah,
up.
because I believe they deliver all of the
Why would
vehicles. It's my understanding from them was that they deliver the vehicles, so they have employees that come and go. Those 10 to 20 vehicles that come and go each day is how they deliver vehicles to companies. It's not their customers coming to them. They take the vehicles to the customer.
Is there any lighting issues that we need to be concerned about?
I don't believe there is this is way in the back. There's existing lighting. The vehicles were, there was previous storage of vehicles overnight there, so that's part of why they selected this location, because it's sort of a use that was already there and being done by a previous tenant.
Laura, to Ben's point, if the applicant decided after a few weeks they needed to set a portalet there wouldn't be a problem, would there?
No, we would ask that they keep it out of the setback area. If you do it as like a revision to the site plan or take care of it
I
that way.
agree with Ben, somebody's gonna need to use the facility
Right,
sometime during the
understood.
day, so. It's up to you.
I don't know that they couldn't go in the main building. I have no idea. It's not up to, they didn't, I asked them about that, they didn't need one at this time. I said, okay.
I see along the western side, which is closest to the road, there are several, I think 5 or 6 of the large, it shows here as like electrical panel typical, which appear to be plug-ins for when tractor trailers were in to run the refrigeration instead of idling the engine or something like that, that are currently blocked by Jersey barriers. But some of those are kind of crooked, they don't look like they're standing up real well. Is there any plans or to do anything with those, or are they just gonna be left in place as is?
They're just left in place as is. There's no intention to do any site improvements beyond the fence.
Okay. And then the gate at the end of the access road now, I don't know if it's operational. Has it been tested?
It hasn't been tested by me. If they need to fix the gate, they will fix it. That is the gate they intend to use.
Good. Any other questions? No other questions? Andy, do you have any concerns that we should?
No, I mean, I laid out a few things. but-
Okay. Very good.
It
Thank you.
seems minor.
Thank you, sir.
I think we talked about this. I'll restriping the parking lot. Parking lot striped for trucks.
I don't believe they are, 'cause they're gonna put a lot of cars in there, so they're not gonna park them in parking rows like.
Yeah,
a
it's gonna say
typical
it's not
parking
for
lot. They're
public
gonna
access,
That's right,
so-
they're just gonna stack them all in there as tight as
Okay.
they can and then shuffle them around as they need.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Jennifer, a quick question for the town attorney. Do you wish to go before our deliberations, or?
That's fine.
Okay, we'll wait?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll go right into deliberations. Okay, and the public hearing, application P 25-26. Do I hear a motion on this application?
I'll make a motion to approve the application, assuming that Andy and the engineer work out all the existing issues regarding drainage and making sure that we address those thoroughly according to the application.
Okay, is there a second? No second on this, on the motion?
I'll
to
second
approve?
that.
You sure? Was it delayed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, so we have a motion for approval, and it's been seconded. All those in favor of the application?
Is there any time for discussion?
Discussion? Sure.
Okay, before.
Well, assuming you're talking about the,
Well,
his
just,
concern.
I mean, a motion was made.
Yep.
There's usually time for
Discussion.
discussion, so.
So, all right.
Would you be interested in amending your motion to add a vegetative screen on the 3 sides of the site?
Yeah, I would,
Okay.
I would add that amendment to
I
it for
apologize.
sure.
We talked about that briefly.
Excuse me, just.
Oh, wait, so, 1 second.
I'm sorry for this.
So,
But is Mr. Penton sitting?
no, I
sitting
was
on
just
this
gonna correct that.
application?
You just brought it
If
up to my.
Mr. Penton is not sitting, he should not be speaking in
Right.
deliberation as well.
That's correct. Sorry, Ron.
He can certainly speak always in public hearing,
Public hearing.
but not
Ron,
during
would you
deliberation.
consider amending your
There you go.
motion to include screening on 3 sides of the property?
Yes, I would.
Thank you.
All right.
And just remember, I think there were some other conditions, I'm sorry to interject, but there were some other things discussed, with regard to lighting was mentioned as well. I think that should probably be subject to staff. And I do understand that the applicant indicated they had no intended lighting, but if something about that changes, it really should be, indicated in conditions that they would need staff approval for that, I think.
Yeah, there's a
Certainly Ms.
little
Margot has
bit of
to
a
do that.
laundry list there for Andy.
And the other issue is to remember they do need a revised affordability plan. And I'll work that out with Attorney Lee, that's fine, because I do have a draft, but that did need to be revised. I don't know if there was anything else that you had. I'm sorry. Thank you.
No, thank you.
I'm just concerned down the road with control we have. It's an accessory building.
Okay.
What happens down the road? Not that, if he sells the property. His intentions are good. I have no problem with that.
Again, I'm sorry for interrupting. Your deliberation is a public
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
session,
Oh.
essentially. Public can't speak,
Yep.
but they do need to hear, and most importantly, so does your,
Oh, well, he's got the mic right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
thank you.
So my concern is it becomes an accessory building, which we're already having debates around town on. And, 10 years down the road, the property gets sold
May I have
out.
your attention, please? The North Haven Library will be closing in 5 minutes. Please bring all items to check out at this time.
And the intentions are good, and I'm sure he's gonna abide by it, but is there any way we can control that down the road? Is there,
So,
I'm not sure. This is the first time I'm sitting on one of these projects.
me too. So the concern, I mean, it's the,
We had a similar situation. I believe it was the one on over by St. Teresa's Church, those townhouses.
Lexington.
Lexington Gardens. And I don't know if anything's going to come of it, but my understanding was one of them was sold at market rate, which originally was intended for affordable. And I don't know what kind of control we could have over it down the road. I said,
That's a general.
Yeah, I thought that was deed
So-
restricted.
So
Yes.
part of the affordability plan actually does contain a provision with regard to enforcement. So pursuant to affordability plans, and this is something that the Department of Housing looks at too, when they certified, like the annual affordable housing appeals list just came out last week. When they get the list of affordable units, one of the things that the town is supposed to get under the affordability plan for an 830G project, or really any project that has any affordable units, is a yearly certification, typically the end of January of each year. And if you don't get that, you do have the opportunity under affordability plan typically to be able to go in and examine the books to see whether or not they're maintaining the affordability. So there is a legal remedy for that, and that's really not something as your counsel that really that you should be considering at this point.
Well, I
Because
understand, but the building
enforcement
is,
is
the building is
not-
built now, and it's an accessory building on the property. And, I mean, like I said, the gentleman's intentions are very good, and I'm sure he's gonna follow through 110%. But at some point, now we've got an accessory building on a property which isn't allowed elsewhere in town. You know, how do we have direct control over that? And, you know, we can't go in and say, okay, well, you're gonna throw your tent out. I mean, that becomes a real nightmare.
So again, when you look at the standard that's in the statute, and I know it was distributed to you, you have to consider what your burden would be on appeal of a decision. Okay, that's ultimately what you're doing. That's what you're bound by, because you've got that reversal of the typical burden. Okay, so one of the things, and I think I said this at some point when I came forward on this application, is your regulations do not apply. That is the law. It's been the law since the Affordable Housing Statute 830J was passed in the 80s. And so I understand what you're saying, that it's a non-conformity, but that is the law. The law allows it to be a non-conformity. It operates outside of your regs. That is what it is.
Yeah, so the big, I mean, and I've done a lot of research on this 830G, and it's like, all our regulations, they go out the window unless there's like major health and safety issues, and that's about it. It doesn't address flooding, it doesn't address, the lot's too small, which I think it is, with 20,000. It doesn't matter. It's like, and even if we were to deny this, they could just appeal it to the state. Correct me if I'm wrong. They would review it and then probably approve it.
So they would have a right to appeal.
Yep.
If they so choose, and that's whether you deny it or you deny it with conditions that they don't agree with, and the appeal would be filed in Superior Court. In all the affordable housing cases, they go to the special docket in Hartford, the land use docket, to the presiding judge there. He may keep it to decide the matter for himself. He may farm it out to another Superior Court judge.
The only thing I did like was that they decreased the amount from 6 to 3.
Yes.
And they're willing to put all this drainage. I want to see
comply
with town engineer. I'd like to see a massive drain system in there. But, any other comments?
Okay.
No.
Let's re-clarify what
Yep.
we're approving, because we've had a lot of discussion here.
So the motion is for approval, it's been seconded, and then with the stipulations, drainage be improved. I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna work the details out with you, Andy, with all drainage
And lighting
and
on the
lighting,
buildings.
make sure the lighting, dumpster on a pad.
Yeah, the dumpsters on, they have it on the
What
drawing.
else was there?
And the vegetative screening.
Then the addition to the vegetative screening.
On three
Three
sides?
sides.
Three sides, correct.
And submit revised affordability
And the,
plan.
yes. Cover everything.
And the vegetation can be approved by staff.
Yes.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, we got it all there? All right, so it's motion for approval, it's been second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And that's what all the approved set forth. On the application, public hearing P 26-05, do I hear a motion on this application?
I move to accept as proposed.
And second?
I'll second.
And were there any additions or concerns? Let's see where we're. Andy, were there any concerns that you had with Swan Crest?
Well, there's one thing that we need to see is a complete site plan.
Okay.
So I would say that, you
Falcon
know,
Crest, sorry.
you approving it, and I think what you're approving it as an approved building lot.
Correct.
Building
Yeah,
lot has
that's
been-
it.
then-
And that as a condition of that they would have to submit a full, complete site plan to be reviewed by staff.
It's a building.
Yeah.
To build them.
Whoever's putting the house in, let's put it that way.
At the time of the build out, when they're.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
So as far as we're concerned, this is all that we're gonna.
We're just making it buildable
Right.
instead of not.
You're
building.
deeming it a buildable
Yeah.
lot.
Yes.
Yes.
I would look into that circle, that paved circle coming in from that other street there. It's physically in the corner of the property. And they even tagged a tree that has some sort of camera on it.
Yeah, I saw there was kind of weird stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, but that's gonna be up to the owner now.
So-
Yeah.
So, okay, so it's gonna be a building lot.
That's it.
Just approving the building lot. And they're gonna finish, they need site plan finished and updated?
Yeah, I would, as a condition of that, have them submit a detailed site plan for staff review.
Okay.
And then it
No,
goes
it-
to building from there.
If they're not building it, what would be the site plan? Like.
Well, they don't have to do anything until they get to the point where
Yes.
where they're going to
Okay,
build
just
it.
in terms
You're
of-
deeming it as a building lot, it
Yes.
could sit for the next
There's no
50 years as a
condition,
building
right.
lot.
Okay.
Well, that's,
Yeah, they're gonna need it
yeah,
with the permits and
Yes.
all of that,
Yep.
which you'll have to go through
Very
building.
true.
correct.
So we have a motion for approval, and it's been second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Board unanimously approves P 26-05. P 26-06. Do I hear a motion so that we can table this application to next month, so we can make the note?
So you're not tabling it, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, you're continuing the opening of the
Public
public
hearing.
hearing. Because the public hearing did not open, you're continuing the opening of it.
Okay.
When you put something on the table pursuant to Robert's rules, you need to vote to take it off the table. So
Okay.
that's not really a thing with what you're doing, so
Alright.
you're just continuing.
All right, so we're gonna continue the public hearing on P 26
Not continue, we haven't
Oh,
opened
sorry.
it.
Open it.
to opening the P 26-06. So he can notify the neighbors.
So I understand, to make sure I got it.
Yeah.
We're moving to continue the opening of the public hearing until next
month,
meeting.
So we can notify the.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Do we have a motion?
Did we motion and second it?
I thought we did.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay. I
Wait.
thought we did, sorry.
Now, we vote on it again.
And now we'll vote. Aye.
All right. All in
Aye.
favor?
Sorry.
So this will be in April.
Site plan P 26-07A. 71 Leonardo.
I move that we approve with the conditions that we set forth to include a dumpster on a pad.
Yep.
And the testing of the soil.
Yes.
And the riprap to prevent erosion. Did I miss anything? The lighting, and the lighting plan, but I think that was already.
Yeah, I think that was already.
Engineering's
discussed.
request.
And then, they're gonna come back to you, because they're gonna be clearing up that drainage by the river.
Yeah, it's just on the site plan, it's one of the
Okay.
site plan elements, yeah.
Okay. And you need a finalized site plan with all the upgrades?
Showing the dumpster pad.
Showing the dumpster.
Well, we'll need that as a review of approval.
Okay.
That's our standard process, so.
Okay.
So you'd approve it with conditions, and then we would review it as review of approval and end up with the final site plan.
Okay.
There,
Laura,
I'll
do you have-
second.
yeah,
I'm
well
sorry.
I just, so.
We're
I just
moving
wanna
to
make sure we have
approve
what-
with conditions.
Correct. Yep. And the conditions are, I think we should discuss the environmental testing.
Yes.
Yeah, they ran through.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
He said
Okay.
he said they would do it.
No, understood, so you want it to be like an LEP or?
Please explain the difference.
I'll leave that up. I was gonna say, I'll leave that up to them, which, you know. like-
Okay, so.
In agreement with staff.
Yeah, how's that? Yeah, agree. I mean, I don't think they should like, I think Ron made the comment like dumping $1 million for testing the soil, but I think it should do.
They do a couple of borings. I mean,
Yeah.
They might even be able to go back and look at the, would you say 2017 they were in or 2019 they were in? They might add some boring samples.
If they have other
Right.
data, sure.
Yeah.
They had a soils report that went to wetlands, but I don't know if they addressed the upland soils in that report.
Yeah. But I'm saying they had the site plan done a few years ago for the proposed buildings. They might have had borings at that point.
Correct, so we're just gonna get the report from their licensed professional
That sounds, yep.
and take it from there. Hopefully it's all good.
Yeah.
And also, on this application, you had discussed the dumpster.
Yep, there was a riprap.
SD controls on a northeastern slope for erosion control purposes.
Correct, yeah, riprap.
Are you stating that you want it to be riprap, or if they had?
No, whatever.
Okay.
I think you mentioned it.
Yeah, they could put a mat in there, there's lots of things.
Yeah.
I'll work with them on that.
Okay.
Right.
It's a different type of.
For Andy's design.
Good movie though.
And as well as all the, the review comments by staff as far as the revised plans.
Yep.
Looking for a second? I'll
All
second.
right, so we have motion for approval, second. Paul?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
B26-08. Do I hear a motion on this?
I have a motion to approve with our comments, the trailer added, and we'll let staff worry about the facilities when they realize they need them.
That's,
Yeah,
I agree on that.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second. Any other comments?
No,
Second?
Okay,
I second it.
okay. No further
Mr.
comment?
Chairman?
So yes,
After, when you're done with this one, can we please go back to the 71 Leonardo? There was also a coastal area management application.
Okay.
Can't, yeah.
So we
That
have
was
to
a CAM
address
app?
that. The applicant has made a statement that there are no adverse impacts with this.
okay.
So we just have to make sure we put that in writing as part of the as part of the decision.
All right, so we'll finish up
We want to
B26.
approve the camp?
Yeah,
We got the Dodge driver open. So.
Yeah, so, so it's been approved for, and second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we'll revisit P26-07A, approval of the CAM application. Do I hear a motion on that?
I move to approve the CAM application.
And second,
I'll second it.
any other questions? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. That concludes all these, and then we'll go into executive session.
You want to do minutes?
Before that, can I
Yes.
ask you, we did have some correspondence.
Oh, we do?
The
Oh,
invitation to that conference. Laura, would you happen to know what time of the day that
yes, I was
conference
gonna
was?
say, I did reach out to them.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
What'd you find out?
Starts at 5.
Oh, social.
It's a social hour at 5, 6 o'clock is the meeting or dinner,
Okay.
and it's $70.
And
So-
do we have to pay that,
Well,
or does the
no.
town pay?
Does the town pay that? Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
since
I'm getting a, I'm
Yeah.
it
getting a,
hasn't happened very often in the past.
yeah.
We can't,
We
we can't attend. We have a function that night.
Okay, well,
as in the
you know
three
what,
of us.
can
The
I,
three of
can
us.
I find the answer for that for you and get
Sure.
back to you on
Oh, we
that?
just got an approval by the,
Yeah, it typically would be that the town would cover that expense. and then
Well, they
it's
used to
split
cover
amount.
one, but I don't know how many.
And can they all go? Doesn't that constitute a quorum?
No, not
no, not for sure.
Is there in
I think
fact
that
some,
everybody should go. We're just,
is there in fact a new continuing education requirement
There
for
is a
us?
requirement, yes.
So we've gotta go to stuff
it's
like
been,
this
it's
once in a
been
while.
a requirement for, I don't
A
know,
few years.
5 years.
Okay. All right, so if you could just find out if the town will pick up the tab.
That, absolutely.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thanks.
I would like to go.
Yeah, I'd like to go.
I would also like to go. And since
really?
it says the chair
No, we
has to
can't
submit
go.
our names.
Yeah,
Yeah, just increase the number.
Okay.
all right.
We'll cover it.
So we're gonna, make a motion to go into executive
Go
session.
hold on one
No, wait,
second.
wait.
Minutes.
Oh, minutes first?
I move to approve the minutes from last month's meeting.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Any changes or alterations or anything like that? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And, thank you for that. So, under discussion, we had an item that says, public hearing procedure for subdivisions. As you will remember from earlier this evening, Jim Preddy had a public hearing that he did not notice to abutters, and he rightly stated that in the statute, it's not an automatic public hearing, which we set in the office as an automatic public hearing, just carrying forward what has been done in the past. And researching the statutes on that, the statutory requirement is a mandatory public hearing for re-subdivisions, but not for subdivisions. But you may hold a public hearing on subdivisions when you see fit. However, we would have to meet first, because in our subdivision regulations, it also says that the Planning and Zoning Commission may hold a public hearing on a subdivision application if, in its opinion, the circumstances warrant it. In the case with Mr. Preddy's that we heard earlier, there were concerns about grading. We had a public output and a lot of discussion in the wetlands public hearing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that the procedure is that the commission would decide whether or not to hold a public hearing if we were following our subdivision regs and the statute. I believe we set the public hearings in the past because it's a quicker and easier way to get the applicants in possibly. And I believe that at one point the commission might have said, hey, they're all important, they should all be,
Public hearing.
a public hearing. The people have the ability to.
Yeah, I would think anything that's gonna impact a
Right.
neighbor, and in this case, got a lot of.
Clear
Yeah.
use case, yeah.
I mean,
Right.
that'd be the smartest.
So do we need to formalize that? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if it's formalizing, it's probably just more,
Protocol.
right, it's protocol. We have not been doing that until it really came up here. I just want to make sure that the commission understands that they actually have to make a decision. So,
Do you need that in a motion, or just a?
well, I wanted to
What
make
do you
sure
mean,
everybody.
we may need to make a decision to decide if it's gonna be a public hearing or not?
Yes, you have to make a decision.
How would we make,
Because the statutes don't require it, and,
Would that require a change in the statute then?
No,
You'd accept the application at your first meeting and call a public hearing. Second meeting would be the public hearing.
right, so instead
As
of.
opposed to the way we do it now, where it's a public hearing right from the start, they
Yeah.
come in, it's a public hearing day one.
So
I
our
like that.
subdivision regulations under public hearing, the section's called action of the commission. The commission may hold a public hearing regarding any subdivision proposal if, in its judgment, the specific circumstances require such action, and such hearing may be held on a preliminary plan. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's section 9 of the subdivision regulations of the town of North Haven.
Can we just make it always do that so we don't have to have these
No.
individual?
I don't think we can, because it clearly says here, the commission may hold a public hearing if in its judgment the specific circumstances require such action.
Can they change the reg,
That's
or does
it.
that put it
Yeah,
in conflict with the state statute?
So the statute says exactly that. That language that's in that subdivision reg is directly from the applicable statute. So I do not recommend that. You should be voting in each instance, much the same way that wetlands is to be voting on whether, it's the same thing, really, ultimately. They know what I'm talking about. You should be voting on each subdivision application whether or not to hold a public hearing is ultimately what it comes down to.
So
You
you're
need to
saying-
make that change in procedure.
you're suggesting that we add 30 days to every application?
It is what it is.
That's the law.
How is it that ZBA, how did we,
Because that's in the subdivision
That's in the
regulation,
subdivision.
the planning statute 8-26.
So we've been breaking the law up until this point?
So the issue that we have is we don't know whether at some point there was an actual vote. I'm not gonna say that. We don't know that there wasn't ever an actual vote from a commission before you authorizing staff to automatically notice a public hearing on a subdivision. So that could very well have occurred.
Could we do it?
But I was never asked for an opinion about that myself. I can't speak for anybody else that came before me, but I do not advise it because it very specifically is indicating that you should be making a finding regarding the circumstances that justify the hearing. And I think that that's clear from the statute, and I think it's clear in the regulation which relies upon the statute that you get that authority from. So, yeah.
what would be
Yeah.
the option if in case of 1670 that came up? We postpone it so we can notify. What if that when he submits an application, I'm just gonna notify the neighbors anyway, whether it needs it or not?
Again, the language is what the language is.
So we have to vote on it.
And I think you should be voting each time, yeah.
Okay.
So should tonight, because we can move
So-
to continue to open?
So
We
it
haven't
was,
actually required a public hearing at this point. So do we need to hold a motion to
So-
hold a public hearing?
so it was noticed as a public hearing, and ultimately, the applicant, what you saw from the applicant was that they did not protest tonight, that it be a public hearing. And I think your discussion reflected that you thought, the beginning of your discussion, you did have the discussion you needed to have. I was listening closely to what you were saying, and you said, it needs to be a public hearing. So I don't think that there is an issue with what you're doing on that application, because I think you had the necessary discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to make sure that that is occurring though, before, you're telling them to notice and you're putting it in the paper. It's just one of those things. Some things are automatic public hearings, like everything that goes to the ZBA is.
Yeah.
Your variances, your appeal applications, those special certificate of location type things. Well, those now go to staff, but
Doesn't that make things inconsistent for us though? And having a consistent automatic all the time would be best.
Yes, but that's not the
again,
law.
I don't think that it's appropriate under what the language of the law is. I think you
Yeah,
should be,
You gotta follow the statute.
because remember, your regulations can't be a derogation of what the statutory authority is. All of your authority to act, it comes from the general statutes. So you've got to be careful of that. It's just like on a site plan, okay? For a site plan circumstance, the only reason why you have the ability to hold a public hearing is because the general statutes allow you to. The statutes say, you may hold a public hearing on a site plan but you have to have it in your regs. So it's not any different than that, really, ultimately.
Okay.
And if we're worried about the 30 days, we could always change the submission date. So you have the submissions a few days before these meetings. You'd bring those new applications into the meeting, not to act on them or do anything, but to call public hearing. So we could do that as well. And then you wouldn't have to worry about that 30-day loss.
And that's what,
Just something to think about.
yeah, that's a great suggestion, because that's what commissions that are meeting on a bi-monthly basis, that's what they're doing in that circumstance. So, people have a little shortened time. Yeah.
And it's can be a burden to an applicant, to have a public hearing and have to send out the notices, and if you don't feel it's in their, it's warranted, then
I guess
it's
I
kind
would
of an
look at
unfair.
it. I'd look at it reversed.
burden.
I think we always want to look out for the town residents
Exactly.
every
Absolutely.
single
This is why
time,
we're here.
and just delaying that notice to vote on it delays us. It delays the applicants. It does all of that. That's why.
I do agree.
And I understand the law says may, but
Yeah.
why wouldn't we just? Our may will turn into we always will.
Yeah, but it's not just saying may, it's saying you're under specific circumstances, so that connotes that it's dictating to you need to be making a finding.
Okay.
So, that's the issue.
Okay. Any other further comment on that? No? So we can make a motion to go into executive session? Is that your motion?
Before we go into executive session, do commission members who were not on the commission when these issues came up have to sit through this executive session?
So I'm not gonna tell you that you have to, but at the end of the day, if there is further action, you may be one of the people that is participating when that action needs to occur. So
What about alternates?
that's the issue.
Aren't these about?
I can't predict that. So we could never say that the only eligible people to be able to sit on a direction by whether it's a remand situation, whether something gets resolved by settlement. We could never say that it has to be the same people that acted on the application initially, because there are new members.
Okay.
So it's up to you, but you may, and you know, at some point, be in the position where you have to sit.
Yeah, that's what I was
So,
asking.
So if we decide to push this forward and then it comes before us again, there may be something that,
Yeah, I get it.
that's the issue.
Or-
This is gonna be quick.
Yeah, that's what you said last time.
No, this is gonna be quick.
It was an hour and a half last
Jennifer,
time.
do we still want the camera?
So we need to make the motion.
All right, so all right, so we have a motion to go to executive session.
I'll make a motion. Go on.
I'll second it.
And then
Well,
second, we're
I-
going to invite,
Including invitation of our attorney,
Yes.
our staff,
Oh my God, not me.
With the exception.
with the exception of the clerk
And the stenographer.
and the courtroom. Okay, making sure I understand what we're doing.
okay, so, and all in favor?
Aye.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the town of North Haven. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.